Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Kyle here with Family Firearm Reviews, and today we're going to check out the CZ75D Compact. So this is a nice little concealed carry firearm. This one does come with some upgrades as we picked it up. It does have the G10 cool grips, and it does have a set of TruGlo night sights plopped on there for us, and it is the decocker model. So let's get down onto the table and check this thing out. Now that we're down here on the table with our CZ75D Compact, let's dive into it. So you do get the nice CZ box as always. Now when we get her opened up, you can see the firearm is presented very nicely as always. All of our lock and manual is in the top. So we've got our lock, we have our manual here, we do have the accuracy test for the firearm and the warranty information right here. So you can see here's the target from the factory, how the firearm was shooting, where they were at, where their aim point was. So we can show that it's tested and all that good stuff is in here. Now ours did have an upgrade. It did swap out the original sights for the TruGlo night sights. And then they did also change out our grips here. We did get the original factory grips with it, so if we wanted to go back to those, a little bit more palm swelling. But they did swap out for the G10 grips to kind of get rid of the swell. But we do have the originals if we wanted to put those on. And as you can see, they went for the cool hand grips, stay cool. These are just G10 grips that were on it, right? And our friends at Nick's Bullseye Firearms were able to have this for us. They always have a lot of cool firearms where I get a lot of my guns. Great little shop here in Homer City where we're from. Now as we get into this, you can see we get all of our cleaning materials. We get our brush, we get our rod for our patches. Ours did come with the CZ mag loader, which is rather nice. It's a little bit easier to get those mags loaded, especially here when it's cold. We did get two 14-round steel mags, and what's nice is these are actually rubber on the bottom, which I hadn't noticed in the store. So if you are carrying this, it's not going to have the hard plastic. It kind of has some give if you can look, believe it or not. That's going to make it a little bit more comfortable. And they always have really good mags, and because this is a CZ75, it'll be compatible with all my other CZ75 mags that I have, right? And we know that that's true. Now let's get into the firearm, get down to it, and get the box out of the way. Now that we're down on the table, we've got a firearm, one of our mags. Let's get a nice little overview of the firearm. Again, we have no mag in the firearm, and we are going to lock the slide back and show clear. So we are clear. It is good to go, nothing in the chamber. And we're going to go over the numbers here. So we do have on this firearm a 3.75 inch barrel. We have an overall length of 7.24 inches. We have an overall height of 5.3 inches. We have a width of 1.38 inches. We're running a 1 pound, 11.7 ounce weight that is unloaded. And then we do have our nice 14+1 capacity. And this is a double single action trigger. Right now we'd have it in the single action, but this is the decocker model. So you can decock that. There is no safety on this one, so you shouldn't carry it, and I wouldn't carry it cocked and locked. And this is for a concealed carry firearm here. Now this one is made in the Czech Republic, so this is a pretty nice firearm. We do have a full pick rail here, but it is only one slot, so that is a downside. You're going to have to be careful what style light and laser you pick. Some of them have the slot way a little bit more rear, so you're going to have to pay attention to what you're going to put on your firearm. We do have a nice set of front and rear slide serrations. They're easy to manipulate and grab. They're very aggressive, so if you wanted to press check the firearm or rack it, it's easy to grip those. We do have that nice CZ cut under here for your finger, so when you get your finger into the firearm, you've got a lot of generous space to help you funnel it in there in a stressful situation. You do have just right-handed controls. You can swap the mag release, as you can see, but the slide stop slide release is going to be just here on the right-hand side. Again, we have that nice decocker model, so when you holster, it's good to put it there. You could carry it half-cocked, or if you wanted to press the trigger, and then you could carry it. So your first shot would be that double action. As you can see, it's going to be very heavy, very long. And then your second shot is going to be that nice, crisp, single action. So let's see that trigger reset while we're here. So we have the trigger depressed. We'll rack that slide. Got quite a bit of way to go, and then there is a little bit of take up. Fire it again. Check that one more time. Go out. There's your click, so there's your reset. There's your little bit of mush and take up. Then you're on a hard wall, and then you fire the firearm. Again, Double action, you're going to be cocking that hammer, so it's a pretty heavy trigger all the way through. And then boom, right there, you're back and you'll be shooting. Again, this does have a set of TruGlo night sights on there, so I was kind of excited about that. It's a nice little upgrade here. We've got the 2 green in the back with the U. We have the green with the orange on the front. So that is nice. You can change these sights out. If I wanted to, I could swap it back to the originals and give myself the originals, but I think these are going to be great for concealed carry. And this is an all-metal handgun, so there is a little bit of weight to it, and it is very, comfortable. I love CZs. I'm turning into a little bit of a CZ fanboy. I have a SP-01 Tactical, the P07. I have this one now, so I really like the double single action. I really like the feel of that single action trigger when you're out there. It really gives you a crisp, concise shot every time and time again. This one does have the lanyard loop at the bottom, so that is something, again, if you're going to concealed carry, pretty sure the mag sticks out just as far. As you can see with that mag in there, I'm still getting a nice full purchase even without the mag. And I don't have big hands, so if you have bigger hands, that may be different for you. It does have that typical nice beaver tail on the back. Very comfortable grips, especially with these G10s. I don't have the biggest hands, so the G10s do smooth out, take away those kind of palm swells, that little thumb cut, maybe that the regular CZ75 grips have or the CZ grips have. These really do feel comfortable, and that's what really drew me to this was some of the upgrades that were already on the firearm. We do have that typical curved trigger, not the flat trigger, like a lot of the firearms are going that way. And then it is, CZ always does a nice little bit of their branding here. Very nice cut. You can see it's from CZ USA, Kansas City, Kansas. So that's nice. They have that on there, but here it was made in the Czech Republic. So that's just their importer. So now let's go into some of the stippling. Now the grips, it is nice. They have kind of the honeycomb pattern here. And we've got some kind of long lines here, but it does give a nice grip texture. We do have the typical little serrations on the back, and we have a little bit of serrations here. We have some serrations on the outside of the trigger guard here, as you can see. Nothing super fancy, just enough to know that you're there. We have a slight undercut in the trigger guard, so you can get a nice high purchase, but it's not as high cut as some of the other firearms we've looked at recently. Your nice little beaver tail here, so you do get protected from those low, slide rails. But as you can see where that's going to go, where your hand's going to be, right, because of the way the CZs are with the internal frame rails, that slide's going to be nowhere near you, protecting you from any slide bite you may have. Now that we've got that done, let's get down into a loaded weight. So we do have our mag loaded again with our 124 grain NATO ammo, just the training target ammo. So as you can see here, we're loaded to the 14 mark. We have 14, 10, and 5. So you're not going to know when you're under 5 or when you're between 10 and 5. You're just going to be able to see the brass. So we are going to put that in there. So we'll get an unloaded weight right here to see if what I quoted at the beginning was correct from the internet. So we have a 1 pound, 11.8 ounces. I think I said 1 pound, 11.7. So I was 0.1 ounce off in what they had on research. Again, we're going to put the loaded mag in. We're not going to chamber around. So that is 14 rounds right there. And our +1 for 1 in the chamber. So you would have 2 pounds, 2.3 ounces would be what your carry weight would be, with a 24 grain bullet, which is a lot of the defense rounds, things of that nature. So that's the weight you're going to have when you have that with you all day. Again, you wouldn't carry it cocked and locked like that. You could either use the decocker and go half cocked, or when you're there, put your thumb, hold that all the way down, and you would carry it like this. So you could carry it and not carry it cocked and locked, because this is not a safety model. Now we're going to drop that out. We're going to check. Nothing in the chamber. And we're going to get into disassembly. So disassembly, and for safety, we always want to safety check our weapons and make sure they are unloaded. No matter if we thought we were the last ones to handle them, you never know. Always, again, trust but verify is something I've always said. So we get in there, we ensure that our mag is out. And again, the mags come out pretty easily. Not quite as easily as some of the others, but they do come out, and shoot out pretty easily. If you were to have one get stuck, these rubber base plates do give you some generous areas to grip, but there's no stripping cuts, okay? So now that we know that that mag was empty, again, black followers, not really my favorite. We are going to check the firearm, so we'll lock it back. You can see right there that the chamber is empty, nothing in there, good to go. So what we're gonna do is put this in half cocked, and you can see there's two little lines, one here and one here. And what we wanna do is we wanna line those up, okay? When we line those up, we need to push this tab on the other side while we're holding it. So I always use, you know, the base plate of a mag, but these rubber ones might not be great, or you could use a marker or a pen or a pencil or something just to push that while you're doing it. So what I always do is I'll grip it with my left hand, I'll hold that back, I'll get over here, I'll give this a nice little push, and you can see that went in. And then I'll just swap hands, make sure those are lined up again, and then I'll grab this, our slide stop slide release. We're able to pull it out. Remember, these don't have captured recoil springs, the 75s don't. So then you're able to pull your slide apart from your frame, pull your non-captured recoil spring out. Again, that's plastic, believe it or not. They probably did that for cutting down on carry weight. This is my first time taking this one apart. So you do have a plastic guide rod in there with your recoil spring. My recoil spring is green, if you can see that. So maybe that's an upgraded recoil spring. Again, bought this used with some already done upgrades, and the upgrades seem to be kind of nice in the store. Haven't taken this out and shot it yet, but it looks like they cleaned it up pretty good in the shop. We've got our barrel. Let's see if it's fully supported. Oh yeah, there's a fully supported barrel. You get the round all the way down in there. Very nice. Put that round off to the side. We have all of our slide components. You can see our slide rails. Very nice looking slide. I really am excited to get those sights out there and try them out on the range. See here, you can see your hammer, your internal trigger workings, everything like that that's going to function your firearm. You can see your slide stop, slide release, or not your slide stop, slide release, I'm sorry, your mag release down inside of there. And again, that is swappable, so if you're left-handed, you can swap that to the other side, but you cannot move your slide stop, slide release to the other side. So it looks pretty good. If you are going to clean it, that's pretty easy for you to clean. Now let's get it back together. Again, we'll get our barrel in there. And then we take our spring, get it on our guide rod. Again, that's a plastic guide rod, which kind of surprised me, but they probably did that to cut down on weight because this is a carry firearm. Get that down there. Make sure you're seated all the way down. And then again, I'll just put this half cock because that always makes it easier for me to get it together. I know that's kind of like a stopper. Now with the slide rails being internal, you've got to put it all the way back here. Slide that on there. Grip till you line these two lines up in the rear again. And then you'll grab your slide stop, slide release lever. Make sure you're putting it in properly. You can see the little steps are going to go down. The flat, wide part's going to go towards the bottom. Get that in there. I'm going to push back a little further. Make sure you wiggle it in there. There we go, clicked into place. And then again, make sure you're clear, right? Nothing in there, nothing in the mag. Function that slide, safe direction. And she functioned, right? So we're back there, and if you were concerned that you wanted to check your double action trigger, you could do that too. Again, unloaded, safe direction. We are good to go. So that is the CZ75D Compact with the pick rail. A lot of them don't have that pick rail I've run into, so this is kind of a nice one. If you like that, I hope you guys come back, check it out. If you have one, let me know, and be looking for the range review for this one. Thanks, guys. See you again. Thanks for watching our video. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future videos. If you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel.
Comment below. We want to hear from you. Get more content from Family Firearm Reviews by joining our Patreon